Hi, Sparkle Tree. I'm not sure what just happened. That's so weird. It said like the live quit unexpectedly. Like what? So I'm back. Hi. Hi, Mac. Hi, Joe. Hi, Katina. Hi, Sally. My weekend's been good, Court. How about yours? Okay, Paranormal Jules. That would be great. I would love to. When do you guys go live? I'd love to come to your lives. I know, Mac. How you been? Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. It really does, right, Lonnie? Right? I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. 10, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Crystal. I miss you. Hi, cutie pie. Hi, Pippa. By the way, Pippa, what is your... it says Pippa's mom, so that's definitely not your name. And I call you that every time. Belfast? Cool. The scented hair? Hey. Really cool. I would love to go to Belfast. Hi. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. By the way, guys, feel free to start writing your story requests. Thank you, Crystal, by the way. Thanks. Your story requests in all capital letters in the chat, and I will write them down. And we can vote. Yeah, I figured Pippa was somebody besides you. Hi, Rachel. Hey, Colleen. For gaslight, do you mean marshlight? I'm not sure what you mean by that one. That's okay, Colleen. That's what I figured. I mentioned a gas stove in it, too, so I figured you kind of just maybe connected the two. Also, just a reminder to TikTok, I do write and record all of these stories myself. They are original content of mine, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. But this is original content TikTok, so let's make that very clear from the beginning of the live. I have written these stories and they are mine. Thanks, TikTok. Thank you, Cable. House Watson, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Lauren, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. If you're just getting in, feel free to write your story requests in the chat in all capital letters. And no, this is not an AI voice. I'm a human. Hello. Spammer gets spammed. Hi. Feel free to write your story requests in the chat in all capital letters so I can write them down and we can vote on them. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, all the links are in my bio. Oh, Crystal with the corn. Hi, April Hope. How are you? Yes, the chomps, Justin. Hi, Jasmine. Aw, Jasmine, I'm so glad you love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for noticing all the details I try to add to those. Because if you guys are going to stare at something the whole time I'm telling a story, I try to at least give you guys cool things to notice and pick out each time, you know. Oh, first time here, Lauren. Hello. Well, don't worry. We're about to vote right now, and then we'll know which story. Welcome to the porch. We're glad you're here. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back, relax, check out the shooting stars. You're not late, Deborah. You're right on time. Welcome in. Pippa, I think there's a little part of everybody that does. Just a little bit, though. Like, I'm not into gore and like really bad. I like just spooky. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the first poll for us to vote on the first story. If you could do me a big favor. Okay, Holly, no worries. If you're tired, that's the whole point of being here. To relax. Yeah, same here, Pippa. Just weird and spooky. I'm not into like slashy, gory, serial unalivers, anything like that's not really my vibe. But I just like unexplained and weird, supernatural, paranormal kind of stuff. All right, I will be right back with the first poll for us to vote for the first story. And if you guys could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. Thanks for the follow, Kelly. Welcome in. That repost button puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Welcome in, Suzanne. Kim, thank you for the hand hearts. Deborah, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Also, sharing to your story, sharing with your friends helps us grow our beautiful porch. And I will be right back with the first poll. Happy Saturday. Okay, you guys, the first poll is ready. We have the camper van versus the Honey Island swamp monster versus the man in the red coat versus the dream machine, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking, versus Eliza Crawford's ghost. Hello, CJ. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner if you are on TikTok. And if you're not, if you're on YT or TOH, Justin will help you with what story if you're interested in voting. If not, just sit back and relax. But if you're on TikTok, you can vote in the blue box up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. We have the camper van. We have the Honey Island swamp monster. We have the man in the red coat. We have the dream machine, which is Are You Afraid of the Dark? And we have Eliza Crawford's ghost. Right, Crystal? So many. Who's it gonna be, guys? And the winner is the camper van. And if you're just getting in, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself. They're original content, and you can find them on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you can find me. They're also available. The links are also in my bio if you can't find it. And the winner is the camper van. I will be right back with the tale of the camper van. Feel free to sit back, grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Hi, Lorna, and happy Saturday. Hi, Kim. Oh my God, Lady Rose is back. Oh my God, thank you for telling me. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the camper van. Hi, Tommy. That's so cute. Thanks, Tommy. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Katina. Thank you, Tater Tot. It started as one of those dreamy road trips, a meandering escape from the monotony of my 9 to 5. I quit my job, sold most of my stuff, and I hit the road in my little camper van with my sweet cat Alfie as my co-pilot. It was just me, my cat, and the open road, tracing ribbons of asphalt across America. The plan was simple. No itinerary, no deadlines, just freedom. Somewhere along the way, the Appalachian Mountains called my name, and I decided to park near the trail for a few days of peace. The spot I found was idyllic, or so I thought. It was tucked into a grove of towering pines, with the Appalachian Trail weaving nearby like the thread through an old tapestry. The air was cool and it smelled like moss and earth. And I felt like a pioneer discovering some uncharted corner of the world. After a day of hiking, I returned to my van with aching legs and a happy heart. Alfie greeted me with his usual loving meow, demanding to be picked up and fed. After some hugs and head nuzzles, I fed him, made myself a bowl of chili, and I settled into my makeshift bed to read by lantern light. The stillness was incredible. No cars, no city hum. Just the occasional hoot of an owl or rustle of the wind. And that's when I first noticed the strange smell. It was faint but unmistakable, like something metallic and sweet. Blood, maybe? I brushed it off as my imagination, and I tried to focus on my book, but the smell lingered, making my stomach twist. Alfie's ears flattened, and he let out a low, uneasy growl. My nerves prickled. It's just a deer or something, I mumbled, more to reassure myself than Alfie. But I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. That night, Alfie was on edge, and I didn't sleep well. The van, usually my cozy little cocoon of safety, felt more like a fragile tin can. I kept waking up sure I had heard something, a branch snapping, the faint crunch of footsteps. I peeked out the windows, but the forest was just a wall of black. Alfie curled up against me, his fur bristling. By morning, I convinced myself that it was nothing. and I decided to explore the area sticking to the well-marked trails. The sun was bright, the forest alive with birdsong. And I started to feel silly for being so spooked last night. That was until I crossed paths with a man. He was old with a face weathered like tree bark and eyes that didn't quite match his friendly smile. He wore a faded plaid shirt and carried a rusted hatchet slung casually over his shoulder. We exchanged the usual pleasantries, but there was something about him that made my skin crawl. "You camping around here?" he asked, his tone just a shade too curious. I hesitated. Just passing through," I lied. His smile widened. "Not a lot of folks come up this way. It's quiet, real peaceful." "Yeah, that's kinda what I was looking for," I said, gripping my hiking poles just a little tighter. He nodded, lingering a beat too long before continuing down the trail. As soon as he was out of sight, I turned back toward the van, my heart thudding. When I got back, something felt off, and then I noticed the side door was ajar. I was sure I had locked it. Inside, things had been moved. Not much, just little things. My mug was on the counter instead of the sink, and Alfie's litter box had been shifted a few inches. My stomach dropped. Someone had been in here. I grabbed my pepper spray and I did a thorough check. But whoever it was gone. I double-checked the locks and I told myself that I'd leave in the morning. But as night fell, that metallic smell returned, clinging to my clothes and my hair. Alfie hissed, and his tail puffed up like a bottle brush. And around midnight, I heard it. Not just the imagined sounds of the forest, but something deliberate. These were footsteps, heavy, purposeful, circling the van. Alfie's growls turned to low, guttural yowls as the footsteps stopped just outside the driver's side door. I sat there clutching the pepper spray like a lifeline. And then, silence. The kind that's so loud that it feels like a weight on your chest. Minutes dragged into hours, and I finally drifted into a restless sleep, jerking awake at every little sound. By dawn, I was so ready to leave. But when I opened the door, I froze. There were handprints on the van, smudged and greasy, like someone had run their fingers along the windows. And on the hood was something worse. A small pile of animal bones arranged in a crude circle. My stomach churned, but I forced myself to clean it up. Tossed the bones into the woods before starting the engine. I needed to get out of here. But then, my van wouldn't start. The battery was dead, even though I just checked it a day ago. Panic bubbled in my chest as I tried and failed to get it going. I was stranded. Hi, Down Nola. Welcome in. Yeah, yay. Everybody Down Nola came in from YT. Say hi. I was stranded. I spent the day trying to flag down hikers, but no one passed by. The isolation pressed in on me. The forest now feeling less like a haven and more like a trap. That night, I barricaded the doors with everything I could find. A folding chair, a cooler, even Alfie's litter box. I kept a kitchen knife within arm's reach, and I huddled under my blankets, waiting for the morning. The smell came back, thicker than ever, and with a lower, guttural humming. It wasn't an animal. It sounded human, but rough. The sound moved closer, circling the van. And then, something heavy slammed against the side. Alfie screeched and darted under the bed as I grabbed the knife, my heart pounding. The van rocked as whatever it was slammed into it again, harder this time. And then, nothing. I stayed awake until the first rays of sunlight pierced through the trees. And when I finally opened the door, I saw it. Deep gouges in the metal like claw marks. And a message scrolled in what looked like ash across the windshield that said, "Leave." Thank you, lovely. Thank you, Jess. I didn't need to be told twice. I spent the day rigging a makeshift solar charger on a whim, praying it would give the battery enough juice to start the engine. By late afternoon, I tried again and the van roared to life. Relief washed over me as I threw my stuff in the back and I prepared to leave. As I pulled onto the narrow dirt road, I saw him again. The man from the trail, standing at the edge of the woods watching me, with that same unsettling smile. This time, the hatchet wasn't slung casually over his shoulder. It was in his hand, the blade glistening in the fading light. I didn't stop. My hand shook as I gripped the wheel, my eyes darting to the rear view mirror every few seconds. It wasn't until I was miles away, back on a main road, that I let out the breath I had been holding. I wish I could say that was the end of it. But when I stopped for gas, I noticed something chilling. On the back of the van, written in mud, was a single word. Soon. I drove through the night, not stopping until I was well beyond the Appalachian Trail. And to this day, I don't know what I encountered out there. A deranged local? Bigfoot? Something else? All I know is that Alfie and I escaped with our lives, and one hell of a story. And now, every time I get into my van, I check the locks twice, and I keep Alfie close, just in case. And that's the tale of the camper van. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Hi, Mackenzie, that's okay. Hi, Amaniac. Hi, Jamie. Oh, that's cool, Eilish. That's amazing. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Pippa. Hi, Supercat. Thanks, Lorna. Thank you, Michael. Choose World, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And I do write and record all these stories myself. So if you would like to listen to them when I'm not live, you're going to be surprised. I had never had it till last summer, and I never thought I'd be in, and like, you'd be surprised the kind of lives you're going to encounter. It's really cool stuff. Just the most random things you could ever imagine. Like, I watched this lady who lives in Ghana and teaches people how to make soup. Like, it's literally like the coolest things you could ever think of. And I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Welcome him in, Porch Pals. Also, if you are new here as well, welcome to the porch. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. And welcome to the porch. And I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote. And I will be right back. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hi, Bad Witch. How you doing? Happy Saturday. Thank you, Matt. Thanks. I love that feather. Thanks, Matt. Melissa, thank you for the follow and welcome to the porch. Okay, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Marshlight, which is also the Will-o'-the-Wisp. We have the Ozarks Howler. We have the Deer Woman of Oklahoma. We have the Lubbock Lights. And we have the Mothman, also known as Zaddy. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. And if the stupid pink banner comes in your way, swipe out and come back in, and it usually disappears. For like a few seconds at least. But it is a design flaw. Who's it gonna be, guys? We have the Marshlight, the Ozarks Howler, the Deer Woman of Oklahoma, the Lubbock Lights, and the Mothman. And you can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? And the winner is the Ozarks Howler. I will be right back with that story. And if you guys could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There is, oh my God, you guys, that was by 1 point. Did you see that? 1 point, 1 vote. If you guys could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. That puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing your stories and sharing with your friends all help. I'll be right back with the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Also, thank you to Porch Pals who continue to write keywords in the chat throughout the night. It does help the algorithm categorize us. Things like, are you afraid of the dark? Goosebumps, spooky stories, Mothman, Goatman, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Chupacabra, storyteller, ASMR, paranormal, supernatural, anything like that. Also, feel free to put them into the funniest story you can think of. I like to pin the funny ones, and sometimes you guys even get me to break in the middle of a story. So thank you guys for writing keywords throughout the night, and I will be right back with the Ozarks Howler. Happy Saturday! Hey, Michelle! Hi, Langley. Hi, Guinevere. How are you? Hi, Heidi. Yes, Michelle, Mortimer won. Oh, he won. Look at his little fuzzy butt. Thank you so much, Denise. I appreciate that. It's fun. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Leslie. That looks so good across the screen right now. Yeah, right, Cable. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? And thank you, Fushu. Welcome in. My name is Devin. Welcome to the porch. Ooh, Heidi, that'd be a cool idea. We could also, not just my live, you could put my video playlist too. Hi, Holly. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Ozarks Howler. Most people outside the Midwest have never heard of the Ozarks Howler. And honestly, even most people inside the Midwest treat it like one of those regional campfire stories. Something local parents use to keep their kids from wandering too far past the tree line after dark. But if you spend enough time in southern Missouri or northern Arkansas, especially around the older mountain towns, where the roads narrow into gravel and the forests seem to swallow whole stretches of civilization, you start hearing about it in ways that don't sound like folklore anymore. The first time I heard the name was from an old newspaper clipping pinned to the wall of a roadside diner outside Branson. It was framed between yellowed photographs of flood damage and a missing persons flyer from the 70s. The clipping described a farmer in the 1920s who claimed he saw a beast the size of a bear, with glowing eyes, horns like a ram, and a cry so unnatural it made his livestock slam themselves bloody against their pens trying to escape. Now, depending on who you ask, the Ozarks howler is described as a shaggy black beast with horns and glowing red eyes. Others say it looks more like an oversized mountain lion with malformed hind legs. Some insist it has tusks. Others swear it has a tail tipped like a spear. The only consistent detail in every version is the sound, the howl. Witnesses describe it as something between a wolf, an elk scream, a woman shrieking, and metal grinding against itself. A noise so wrong that hearing it allegedly causes nausea, panic, or temporary paralysis. Stories of the creature date back at least to the early 1800s, with settlers in the Ozarks recording encounters with what they called the devil cat or the hated beast. Some folklorists believe the legend may be older, adapted from indigenous oral traditions, warning against supernatural creatures and spirits that live deep in the hills. Others think the creature was inspired by sightings of diseased bears, escaped big cats, or simple frontier paranoia. But if that were true, the story should have faded. But instead, sightings continued. Hunters disappearing after screams were heard in the woods. Farm animals found gutted but uneaten. Campers reporting eyes in the dark, followed by sounds no known animal should make. Every few years, another sighting surfaces online or in local papers. Usually mocked into oblivion by anyone who hadn't grown up near those woods. I rented a cabin near the Mark Twain National Forest. And if you've never heard of it, it's a very underrated, gorgeous national park in Missouri. The cabin looked charming. Wraparound porch, stone fireplace, private acreage, no neighbors for miles. And at the time, the last part sounded relaxing. The drive down was gorgeous. Late October had painted the hills in rust and gold, and every curve of the mountain road looked like something out of a postcard. By the time I reached the cabin, the sun was already dipping behind the ridgeline, staining the trees copper. I noticed the large oak tree behind the cabin had large gashes in the bark. A little alarming, but just a reminder that bears do live in the area. The place itself sat alone at the edge of a dirt road, with forest pressing close on all sides. Dense enough that 10 feet beyond the clearing became shadows. The owner had left a binder of house rules and local recommendations on the kitchen counter. Tucked between pages about Wi-Fi passwords and checkout instructions was a handwritten note, warning guests not to leave food outside due to bears. Underneath that, someone had scribbled in pen that if you hear something screaming in the woods, don't go looking for it. I assumed it was just some little joke the owner used to play up the spooky mountain aesthetic. Later that night, I was sitting on the porch under a blanket, enjoying some greenery with a little Bluetooth speaker playing music softly beside me. The night was unnaturally quiet. Every insect stopped, and the silence hit so suddenly it almost felt physical. And then I heard a sound from somewhere deep in the trees beyond the clearing. Long and loud. It started almost like an animal call, and then it bent upward into something agonized and human enough to make every hair on my body stand up. It sounded wrong in a way that I can't properly explain. And not scary because it was loud. Scary because every instinct in me knew that I was hearing something that I couldn't identify. The scream echoed across the hills, and then again closer. I didn't move. A third scream came from a different direction entirely. Not deeper in the woods, but to my left and much closer. I went inside immediately and I locked every door. I remember trying to rationalize it. A bobcat? A fox? A mountain lion, maybe? Animals can make horrifying noises. But I've heard recordings of all those animals since, and none of them sounded like what I heard. I barely slept that night. Sometime after midnight, I woke to heavy footsteps moving across the wraparound porch. Boards creaked outside the bedroom window and then stopped. I held my breath. Then came a wet, sniffling sound against the glass, like something smelling the window. And then claws dragged slowly across the pane. I stayed perfectly still until dawn. In the morning, I found muddy tracks on the porch. Not a bear and not a dog. They were canine-shaped, but not normal. And this only deepened my curiosity. I had to investigate this further. Just one short walk in broad daylight, just to check out the terrain, see if I notice anything out of the ordinary. Thank you, Heidi. Thanks, Katina. Thanks, Crystal. The trail wound through dense timber and limestone outcroppings. The kind of forest where visibility drops to nothing after 20 yards. Everything smelled of wet leaves and old stone. I had been walking maybe 40 minutes when I found the deer, or what was left of it. It lay half hidden in the brush off the trail. Its rib cage was torn apart and its hindquarters were untouched. The throat had been shredded so violently that the head nearly hung loose. But almost no meat had been taken. It appeared to have been senselessly killed. I turned around immediately, and that's when I heard branches snapping behind me. Something large moving through the woods, keeping pace. I looked back once, and I saw black movement beyond the trees, low to the ground. Too large for a coyote, but too fluid for a bear. And then it stepped into a beam of sunlight maybe 30 yards off the trail. And that's when I saw it. Its body was shaped roughly like a massive wolf, but with weird proportions. Its front shoulders were too broad and its hind legs too long. And its spine sloped unnaturally downward like a hyena. Thick black fur hung in clumps across its frame, patchy in places as though diseased or scarred. Its head was oversized and broad-jawed, and crowned with two curved horn-like protrusions rising from above its ears. Its mouth hung slightly open and strings of saliva swung from teeth too long for its jaw. And then it screamed. Not howled, screamed. The sound hit me like a physical blow, and goosebumps immediately covered my body. And I ran. I have never moved that fast in my life. Branches tore at my face, roots caught my boots. Behind us, I could hear it crashing through the brush and shrieking in short bursts that sounded almost like it was excited. I burst from the trail into the cabin clearing with that thing still behind me. I slammed the door just as something hit it hard enough to shake the frame. Then another impact. Wood splintered near the hinges. And then it circled the house for what felt like hours, throwing itself against walls, scratching at the windows, screaming at different sides of the cabin as if trying to confuse me. At one point, it climbed onto the roof, and I could hear its claws scraping overhead. And then, silence. Long enough that I thought maybe it had finally left. But then, the power went out, and the cabin plunged into darkness. And from directly outside the living room window, I saw two red eyes. I stayed huddled in the bathroom with a kitchen knife and a fireplace poker until sunrise. And the thing was gone by morning. My car parked beside the cabin looked like someone had attacked it with an axe. Doors gouged, windows shattered. Deep claw marks raked across the hood. Police came, search teams came, wildlife officers came. They found tracks, damage, blood from where the creature had cut itself breaking the car glass. But no animal. No explanation. Officially, they blamed a bear. They always blame a bear. As I waited for the car rental shuttle to come pick me up, I sat down to catch my breath for a minute, and I noticed the cabin's guest book sitting on the coffee table. I opened it to a bookmarked page. It was an entry from 6 years ago. A woman who described the exact same thing. The screams, the eyes, the clawing at the walls. It was written shakily, and she claimed that the cabin owner built the property there intentionally. His grandfather had once owned the land, and he had believed the howler didn't just hunt randomly. It returned to places where blood had been spilled. And decades before that cabin was built, a massacre of local indigenous people soaked that land with blood. The local story, according to the note, was that whatever the howler truly is, it's drawn to violence, to cruelty, to places where something monstrous has already happened. And then it comes back, again and again. It described dozens of deep scratch marks carved into the oak behind the property, the one that I noticed when I first arrived. Layer upon layer, some fresh, some scratches so old the bark had grown around them, as if something had been returning to that tree for generations. Maybe the moral is that some places earn their legends. Some folklore exists because enough people survive the same terror to give it a name. And maybe the Ozarks howler is exactly what the old mountain families have always said it was. A thing that manifests when the land is soaked in blood. All I know is this. If you ever find yourself in the Ozarks after dark when the woods go silent, and you hear something screaming in the distance, don't convince yourself it's just a story. Because stories don't leave claw marks that deep. And that's the tale of the Ozarks howler. Michelle said that's the only way he can trim his nails is on the trees. Just like cats. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself. And they are available to listen on my YT channel and all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. I also premiere a new one of these stories every Monday, live on my YT channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like to join us for the live premiere, live chat, and first listen, we have a lot of fun over there. Feel free to subscribe to my YT channel and check it out. Also, big announcement for you guys. I hit 5,000 subscribers on YT this weekend. So now I have to change my little intro where I say, help me get to 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, thanks guys. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. 5K. I know. So thank you guys. I can't do it without you. And I appreciate you guys so much. I'm not going to cry. But that's a big milestone that I was shooting for. So it might not sound like a lot, but thank you, Michael. But it is, it's baby steps, and that's a big one. Thank you, Robin. Thanks for the blooming ribbons. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So, over in the world of YT, that's chump followers, chump change. But to me, that's a very exciting next step in my growth. So thank you guys so much for helping me along the way and being part of this community and the journey and growing the porch. I know, me too, Steph. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I can't believe it. So thank you guys so much. And the porch will continue to grow. Aw, thanks, Robin. Thank you so much for the bouquet. Aw, thanks, thanks, Jotanya. That's so sweet. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you guys so much. So I hit another one. Thank you. Thank you. Is it Shara? Thanks. So I hit another one of my milestones, which is just exciting, Is it Shara Striglio? It's a cool name. Whitney, over on YT, I got to 5,000. Thank you, Deborah. That's so sweet. Yes, the next one, Justin, that I'm going to record is 10K. Maureen, I got 5,000 subs on YT. And over here on TT, I think we're at 37,000. So our beautiful porch is growing thanks to you guys, spreading the word, sharing it out, telling your friends. Speaking of, feel free to hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, thanks, Michelle. And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. And thank you everybody for all the taps. We're at 137,000 taps. Thank you so much. And welcome to the porch. We do really, Pippa, this is such a beautiful community. I literally sometimes sit around and think about it and I'm like, man, I'm so lucky. Like, I can't believe all these amazing people. Like, we really have just really some of the most special people I've pretty much ever, I know we haven't met, but some of those precious and special people I've ever encountered. And I just feel so fortunate that we've all connected and found each other. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. So, Kim, I love you. Matt, thanks. It's because of you guys. Are you kidding? It's because of you. Thanks, Rachel. You're so sweet. No, Tolstoy, you might have to swipe out and come back in. I mean it, Lucy. I mean it, you guys. I'm so grateful. You guys have no idea how much hope for my future you've given me again after I was someone, who left my career. I was kind of at a low point, and you guys have kind of like brought me back to myself and made me believe in myself again and remember who I am, and a lot of different things that I didn't really realize that I needed, a TikTok community to help me through and to help me with. And it's just, you guys are the best. So this isn't just some clout chase online content influencer crap for me. This is, you guys are like my life. This porch lore is my life at this point. So thank you guys for being there and being part of it. All right, I'll be right back with the next poll so we can vote. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. And thank you for the follow, Imaginary Wombat. I love your name. All right, the next poll is ready, and we have the Chupacabra, the Bell Witch, the Goat Man, the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and the Reanimator, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. And Tandy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Ash, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Oh, thanks, Justin. Kim with the eyes. Poos is gonna get y'all if y'all don't vote for him. And Poos is gonna get y'all. Daddy Granger, my email is just porchlore@gmail.com, and you can send any story ideas or things that have happened to you personally, anything like that, to my email. Well, Captain Underpants, I would say since we're voting right now, probably after the poll is done. That's what all those votes on the screen are right now. So I would say we'll probably start the next story after we finish voting on it. No problem. I like it. Is it Cap Tundra or was it Captain Dr. Pants? I don't know. I like it though. Whatever it is, it's funny. Cap Underpants. Welcome to the porch. Brittany, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Laura said she brought nachos and guac for everybody. Kim. Kenneth, thank you for the follow and welcome to the porch. Lola, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch, guys. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself. And they are all available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, all of the links are in my bio if you can't find me. And Robin, yeah, it's my own music. Thank you, Matt. Me too. Sandy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Okay, a maniac. See you soon. Hi, Lily. Oh, Justin brought queso. Now that's what I'm talking about. I love queso. Hi, Elizabeth. What's wrong, a maniac? All right, you guys, the winner is... Yeah, she's going to be pissed, Michelle. Pissed. All right. The winner is the Reanimator. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Lily. I hope you feel better. Kim. I know, me too, Anna. That would be cool, right? Hi, Elizabeth. All right, the winner is the Reanimator, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. Ooh, brownies. Hell yeah, Rachel. I actually didn't have dinner, so everything you guys are saying sounds really good. Yes, carrots with ranch. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. All right, you guys. The winner of the poll is the Reanimator. Maureen, thank you for the hand hearts. And I will be right back with the tale of the Reanimator. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars and welcome to the porch. Happy Saturday. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. You're so sweet. Thank you. Hi, Maze. Thanks, Robin. Thank you, Kenneth. All right, you guys, be right back. Welcome in, Theodore. Hi, Seabass. Rich the Grinch, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, Lovely loves this story, but I don't think she's still here. Brandon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Yes, Lovely, look at the story. Oh my God, Joshua, thank you. Those are so cute. Thank you, Joshua. Oh my God, look at that cutie. Y'all, look at that cutie surfing. Hi, David, Crystals. He's so cute. Thank you, Joshua. Yes, happy new moon, Buddha. It's such a great vibe, right? That's why I made him one of my gift goals tonight. Thank you so much, Joshua. That just made us all in a good mood. That is so cute. I know it looked like Patrick surfing. It's adorable. Oh, good night, Lily. I hope you feel better, sweet friend. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Reanimator. It began with a warning no one took seriously. 3 colleagues stood outside the greenhouse behind Doyle Biotech on an unusually warm March evening. Above the side entrance hung a massive abandoned hornet's nest, brittle and gray, fused to the eaves like a fossilized heart. One of them joked about knocking it down. Another advised against it. The third, Marcus Hale, said nothing. Marcus had always been the kind of man who believed that if something looked dormant, it probably wasn't. Dr. Rowan Doyle owned the property. Mid-50s, brilliant, withdrawn, recently widowed. His wife, Elena, had died the previous year after a sudden aneurysm. The funeral had been quiet. Doyle had returned to work 2 weeks later and never spoke about her again. But the greenhouse lights began staying on well past midnight. Marcus worked as a lab technician for Doyle, and he handled nutrient solutions, tissue samples, environmental controls. It was steady work, predictable. Until The plants started dying. Rows of carefully cultivated specimens, rare orchids, experimental hybrids, genetically edited vines began shriveling without explanation. Soil tested normal. Water quality was clean, no pathogens detected. Doyle did not appear concerned. If anything, he seemed excited. One evening long after closing, Marcus returned to retrieve his laptop that he forgot. And he saw light spilling from beneath the sealed workshop door at the rear of the greenhouse. A faint mechanical hum vibrated through the concrete floor. Through the narrow wired glass window, Marcus saw Doyle, standing over a stainless steel table. On the table lay a dead plant, leaves curled inward like burned paper. Doyle drew a syringe filled with a luminous cobalt blue liquid, and he injected it directly into the plant's stem. For a moment, nothing happened. The leaves trembled. Then color bled back into them. The stem straightened and the roots twitched. The plant didn't just revive, it moved. Marcus stumbled backward from the window. The next morning, he convinced himself that maybe he had misinterpreted what he had seen through the window. It was probably just reflection distortion or something. But inside the greenhouse, something had changed. When Marcus asked about it, Doyle told him that the plant had been discarded. That evening, Marcus searched the internal server and found encrypted file projects labeled Regen Phase 4. Thank you, Michelle. Inside were biological reconstruction models, cellular regeneration, DNA reactivation, theoretical reassembly of necrotic tissue, and not agricultural, human. That was when Marcus found the secondary chamber. Hidden behind a retractable shelving unit in Doyle's workshop was a temperature-controlled room. The air inside was sterile and painfully cold. At the center stood a medical-grade gurney, and on the wall hung a framed photograph of Elena Doyle. Beneath it, an empty space prepared for something else. Marcus left without confronting him. He told himself that there were laws against this. Ethics boards, regulations. No one would risk crossing that line. But grief is a powerful solvent, and it dissolves boundaries. 2 nights later, the power flickered across the entire block. Backup generators kicked in at the lab, and Marcus, who lived above the facility in a small rented loft, heard the low hum of the workshop amplifiers engaging at full output. So he went downstairs. The greenhouse doors were unlocked. Inside, condensation fogged the glass panels, and the workshop door was ajar. Marcus stepped inside, and he felt heat radiating from the secondary chamber. The temperature had been reversed, and the cold storage room now glowed with industrial heating lamps. and on the gurney lay a body, a woman. Elena Doyle. Tubes fed cobalt fluid through her veins, and Doyle stood at her side, his hands trembling. Marcus tried to speak, but found his voice was reduced to air as he watched Elena's finger twitch. Her chest convulsed once sharply, and then her eyes opened. They were alert and searching. The lights in the workshop flickered violently. The monitors spiked erratically, and Doyle whispered something as he leaned closer to her face. Marcus backed into the wall, and Elena turned her head, not toward Doyle, but toward Marcus. Her eyes focused on him with unsettling precision. She looked terrified. She inhaled again, and this time, the lights burst and darkness swallowed the room. Doyle reached for her, and her hand shot out and gripped his wrist way too tightly. Elena's gaze drifted across the room, and her skin tightened unnaturally. Doyle wept openly. He believed he had succeeded. But what rose from that table was not restoration, it was reconstruction. Marcus acted without thinking. He sprinted to the environmental control panel and triggered the emergency thermal purge, a failsafe meant to combat fungal outbreaks. Industrial steam lines activated. Superheated vapor flooded the chamber, and Elena's body jerked violently. Doyle screamed Marcus's name, but the steam drowned it out. The body convulsed once more and then collapsed. The lab was silent except for cooling metal and the sound of Doyle crying. The next morning, the facility was closed indefinitely. The official statement cited an equipment malfunction and structural damage. Marcus resigned. Doyle vanished from public record within months. Some boundaries are not locked to keep us out. They are locked to keep something else from coming back in. And sometimes the most dangerous thing a person can do is decide that death is a problem to be solved. And that's the tale of the Reanimator. Good night, Laura. And that is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself. And they are available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, all the links are in my bio. One Kato, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Good night, Lorna. Sweet dreams. Love ya. Aw, Matt, you're the best. Hi, Carmen. Happy Saturday, everybody. Oh, you have to go to sleep? Aw, thank you, Bonnie. That's so sweet. I appreciate you too. Good night, Whitney. Happy Saturday, lovely. Oh, Kiki, you're new here. Welcome in. Everybody, welcome Kiki in. She's new. And yes, welcome to all our new porch pals. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock. Sit back and check out the shooting stars. And welcome to the porch. Good morning, Candace. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm setting up the next poll, could you guys hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? And then there's a little yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other. And it says repost. If you hit that, that just puts my live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. You can also undo it and redo it throughout the night. It just helps reset the algorithm basically. And it really helps us grow and bring in some cool people. Also, thank you to those of you who are typing keywords in the chat throughout the night so the AI algorithm knows what our live is about so that we can talk about whatever we want and it doesn't miscategorize us every 10 minutes. I appreciate you and I see you guys down there doing it. Seashell, I've noticed you are continuing to write keywords. I really appreciate you. Thank you guys. And I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote. Happy Saturday. Hi, Dawn. Hi, CJ. Welcome back. Hi, Justine. Okay, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Dogman, Spearfinger, Puckwudgies, the Clover Door, and the Dream Machine. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times. Oh, Joshua, thanks. Thank you, Joshua. Those are so cute. God, I love those. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Captain Underpants, there's a blue box in the top left-hand corner with a little check mark and a timer on it. Click on that, and you can vote for which story you would like. And you can vote for more than one story, and you can vote up to 50 times. Thank you so much, Joshua. And thank you, Sherry. Those are so cute. Who's it gonna be, guys? We've got the Dogman, Spearfinger, Puckwudgies, Clover Door, and the Dream Machine, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. Me too, Michelle. Which one did you think was gonna win? I know, poor Dogman. He's the new story of the week, too. He's feeling like a loser. He's gonna go howl. He's gonna go cry. Oh, the Dream Machine? Yeah. I'm shocked Spearfinger won. She hasn't won in a while. The winner is Spearfinger. Right, Lily. He's gonna go, oh, I'm so sad. Nobody liked me. Oh. I'm just kidding. I know you guys are probably listening to him a bunch this week. You did miss the poll, lovely. You did. You just missed it. Yes, Kiptundra, there's different stories every night, depending on which ones win the poll. And the winner is Spearfinger. I will be right back with the tale of Spearfinger. So welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And I'll be right back. Happy Saturday. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Welcome to the porch. Also, thank you to everybody who reposts and then unposts and re-reposts and shares to your stories and all that. Continuing to do that throughout the night really does help us grow. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Dawn. Rick, thank you for the roses. Oh, hi, Amber. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of Spearfinger. Oh my God, Michelle, what was Blitzy doing? That was so cute. And thank you, Lily, for the rock cats. They showed up on my screen at the same time. Did you guys see that? Hi, Kara. Blitzy was so cute. What was he doing? God, he's cute. Yes, Amber, every night. People talk about the Great Smoky Mountains National Park like it's beautiful, peaceful, spiritual. And it is. But there's another side to those mountains that locals don't always discuss openly. The Smokies are ancient, older than every other mountain range on Earth. And there are places deep in those forests where the air feels heavy in a way that's difficult to explain. The fog settles low between the trees, and sound behaves strangely in the valleys. And entire sections of the forest can go unnervingly silent without warning. Long before the national park existed, Cherokee communities lived throughout the region, and many legends were tied directly to the mountains themselves. And one of the most feared stories was the legend of Spearfinger. According to the old stories, Spearfinger was a terrifying shape-shifting entity with stone skin and razor-sharp finger made of obsidian like rock. She could disguise herself as an elderly woman and lure people close before attacking them. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Amanda. And unlike other monsters from folklore, Spearfinger wasn't described as wild or animalistic. She was intelligent, patient, manipulative. The stories often warn travelers not to trust unfamiliar voices in isolated mountain areas, because Spearfinger could imitate human behavior almost perfectly. Most people today treat the legend like a mere campfire tale, and I used to think the same thing. But then, I went to visit my friend Christina in Knoxville. Christina had moved there several years ago, relocating for work, and she fell in love with the Smokies almost immediately. And I have always been obsessed with paranormal stories, cryptids, and Appalachian legends. And ever since Porch Lore took off, Christina had kind of gotten into it too. The first night I arrived, we stayed up late talking on her apartment balcony while warm summer rain rolled across the city in the distance. The mountains were barely visible beneath thick layers of fog and cloud cover. Congrats, Michelle! Christina told me she had found a secluded hiking trail online. This supposedly led to old abandoned settlements hidden deep in the Smokies. Hardly any tourists, no crowded overlooks, just forests and ruins. The next morning we left before sunrise and drove east toward the mountains while mist drifted across the road in pale ribbons. The closer we got to the national park, the more isolated everything became. Gas stations disappeared. Cell service weakened. Dense forest crowded both sides of the road until it felt like the mountains were swallowing us whole. Eventually, Christina turned onto a narrow gravel road leading toward a nearly empty trailhead, hidden far away from the busier parts of the park. The second I stepped out of the car, I noticed how quiet it was. We started hiking shortly after sunrise. The trail wound through enormous hemlocks and moss-covered boulders, slick with moisture from the constant mountain fog. And sunlight barely reached the forest floor in places, and everything smelled like wet bark and pine. Thank you, Michelle. About an hour into the hike, we encountered an older Cherokee man sitting beside the trail near a small stream crossing. At first, he seemed friendly enough, nodding politely as we approached. And then his expression changed to concern. His eyes lingered in the direction we were heading, and he asked if we'd planned to continue deeper into the trail towards the old settlement ruins. Christina explained that we did, and the man grew quiet before warning us that certain areas deeper in the Smokies were avoided by locals for a reason. He spoke carefully, almost reluctantly, but eventually mentioned Spearfinger by name. Thank you, Denise. Even hearing her name out loud beneath those trees made my stomach tighten. The man explained that stories about Spearfinger were never intended as entertainment. According to him, the old legends existed because people had encountered something dangerous in those mountains long ago. Thank you, Rick. He specifically warned us about hearing voices in isolated parts of the forest. Then he told us if the forest ever became completely silent, we needed to leave immediately. Thank you, Stacy. Christina and I exchanged nervous glances afterward, but once we continued hiking, we mostly laughed it off. It felt eerie in the moment, but we assumed he was just trying to scare two obvious tourists fascinated with folklore. The trail grew steeper as we climbed higher into the mountains, and fog drifted heavily between the trees now, sometimes so dense it completely obscured the woods ahead of us. Eventually, we came across the remains of several collapsed cabins hidden deep in the forest. The place felt wrong immediately. The ruins were half swallowed by moss and vines. Rotting wood sank into the earth, while crooked stone chimneys rose between the trees like gravestones. And then the woods went silent, completely. No birds, no insects, nothing. And before either of us could say anything, we heard footsteps coming behind us. Slow, heavy, not an animal. These were human footsteps. We both turned toward the sound simultaneously, but at first, I couldn't see anything through the fog. And then a shape slowly emerged. An old woman stood motionless in the forest, maybe 30 feet away. She wore long gray clothing stained dark around the edges, and her white hair hung in tangled strands around her face. At first glance, she looked frail, and then I noticed her hand. One finger was impossibly long, dark and gray and sharp at the tip like chipped stone. The old woman stared directly at us without blinking, and Christina whispered that we needed to leave immediately. We started backing away down the trail, and the woman took one slow step forward. And even from a distance, I could see her smile widening unnaturally across her face. And then I remember realizing that her skin didn't move normally. It almost cracked in places like weathered rock beneath thin flesh. She continued watching us while the fog drifted around her legs. And then I heard something that made my blood run cold. My own name. Softly spoken from somewhere deeper in the woods behind us. I spun around instinctively, but nobody was there. When I looked back toward the woman, she had moved closer without making a sound. And that was when Christina grabbed my arm and started pulling me down the trail quickly. The footsteps followed almost immediately behind us, perfectly matching our pace. Every time I looked back, the old woman seemed nearer than before, despite the fact that I never really saw her fully walking toward us. The fog thickened rapidly until the trail became barely visible ahead. Then the voice came again, this time directly beside me. My name, whispered softly from somewhere just beyond the trees. I turned, and I saw the woman standing only a few feet away in the woods. That's impossible. There was no way she could have reached us that quickly. Now that I could see her closer, she looked less human. Her silver gray eyes reflected light strangely. Beneath her thin skin, subtle grinding movements shifted across her face and neck like stone scraping against stone underneath flesh. Christina screamed, and that was all it took for both of us to completely panic. And we ran. Branches whipped against our faces as we sprinted down the mountain trail through the dense fog. Somewhere behind us, something crashed violently through the woods. The sounds moved impossibly fast through the trees. At one point, I looked back, and I immediately regretted it. The old woman was no longer standing upright. She moved on all fours through the forest at horrifying speed, her limbs bending at unnatural angles, while her long stone finger dragged against the rocks with a metallic scraping sound. The image still shows up in my nightmares sometimes. We finally saw the parking area ahead through the fog and sprinted toward the car as fast as we could. The second we reached it, I turned around one last time, and the forest had gone completely still again. And the woman stood motionless right at the edge of the trees, watching us, smiling. Christina reversed out of the gravel so fast we nearly slid into a ditch. Neither of us spoke much during the drive back to Knoxville, and that night, neither of us slept. We stayed up all night reliving the experience, trying to make sense of what happened. Then around 2 a.m, I walked into Christina's kitchen for water. And as I passed the window above the sink, movement outside caught my attention. And I saw an old woman standing beneath a flickering parking lot light near the edge of the apartment complex, completely still, just watching the building. The same tangled white hair, the same gray clothing, the same unnatural posture. My entire body locked up with fear. I called for Christina to come into the kitchen. She rushed into the room moments later. But by the time we both looked outside again, the parking lot was empty. No movement anywhere. Still, neither of us spoke while Christina quietly locked every deadbolt on the apartment door. I drove home 2 days later. Christina said she still sees that old woman along the border of the woods outside her apartment. And every time she has tried to approach her, she just disappears into the shadows. So, be careful where you wander out in the woods. And who you come across while wandering. Because remember, looks can be deceiving. And that's the tale of Spearfinger. Hi, Daniel-san. Hi, Drew. Hi, Terry. Yeah, the idea of her running on all fours like a spider or something legit freaks me out. Right, Lynn? Christina is brave. She comes in here a lot too. She's one of my best friends from high school. We're still friends. She's actually getting married in September. Thank you, Stacy, for the surf star. Mace, thanks for the cozy cryptids. And Stacy, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Thank you, Jojo, for the manifesting crystal ball. Happy Saturday. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready for us to vote. And if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Thank you for the follow, Angelica. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Tinsel. I do write and record all these stories myself, and they are available for you to listen to whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. And if you can't, all the links are in my bio. Hi, Lady Far. How you doing, cutie? Also, I do premiere a new story every week on Mondays live on my YT channel. Hi, Burley. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do like a live premiere, a live chat. It's very fun. And you get a first listen at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Oh, Matt, you're sweet. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. All right, you guys. We have The Door in the Water, which is the Selkie story from Ireland. We have The Last Summer Carnival. We have The Carolina Creeper. We have The Baker Hotel. And we have The Overnight Delivery. And you can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. We have The Door in the Water, The Last Summer Carnival, and if you can't see it under that stupid pink banner, swipe out and come back in. The universe banner covers it up because it's a design flaw of this app that's really designed by someone who has literally never used it. Yeah, it hides under the stupid universe banner, Katie. It's so annoying. We hate the banner. We have The Door in the Water, which is the Selkies from Ireland. We have The Last Summer Carnival. We have The Carolina Creeper. We have The Baker Hotel, and we have The Overnight Delivery. Who's it gonna be? All right. And the winner is The Baker Hotel. And yes, lovely, thank you for reminding Dave that I am literally one person streaming on 3 platforms with over 400 people running a live poll with 5 story choices that I have to type in each time and change the backgrounds and switch those scripts and everything. So I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you, Dave. Maybe you need to grow up a little bit, sweetie. Put on your big boy pants. Hey, Chad. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate you too. Right, Robin? Hi, Spooky Pookie. I am. How are you? All right, the winner is The Baker Hotel. Hi, Lola. The winner is The Baker Hotel, and I will be right back with that story. And if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. Michelle, that's literally what it was. And yeah, Lovely's a badass mod. Are you kidding? She's the sneaky one. She's the one that just like lurks in the back, ready to mute people. I have like 12 mods, literally. Like, I don't even think I'm exaggerating. So, watch yourself. It's okay, Dave. Just don't be entitled. We still love you. You're still welcome on the porch. And yeah, Lovely's amazing. She sends out everything to everybody. She comes over and checks out things. She like helps people figure out when there's tech issues. She's like amazing. Anyway, the Baker Hotel is the winner. And I will be right back with that story. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, check out the shooting stars in the sky, and welcome to the porch. Happy Saturday. And you're right, Justin. Lovely absolutely lives up to her name. She is just lovely. I'm obsessed with her. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen her on her live, but she's just cute too. She's just so cute. Like, she's just everything. She really is Lady Rose. She's adorable. She's like a cooking extraordinaire. She's amazing. Cooking extraordinaire. She does everything. Reiki. She's the best. Burn your hoof. Oh, you mean the goat man? Yeah, Lovely. Who did you think? We're talking about you. I've literally just been gassing you up for like the last 7 minutes. She said, me? She probably had the volume down. Well, and also just a shout out to my mods who are badass, because just a reminder, I do go live every single night. So the fact that they, even if they show up just a little bit to help out or support me, it's just amazing. They do this out of the kindness of their hearts because they love us and they love this community, and they don't have to be here every night, and they choose to be and help me. And it's just, yeah, the mods are amazing, and I am so grateful for you guys. Misbehaving, thanks for the, I can't pronounce that, but thank you for the cute corgi with the dandelion. Lovely. Lovely. Not a cult. Speaking of not a cult, if you feel compelled, I'm sure you've noticed a lot of us porch pals have UFOs in our screen names. It simply is a way for us to see and identify each other in other live chats and be like, there's a porch pal, hey, with our little UFOs. It's not a cult, but it sure looks like one. But if you would like to add a little UFO to your screen name and not be part of the cult, but just be where we can see you in the chat and other lives and be like, hey, there's our friends, or there's our friends. And I'm not going to lie, the UFO in the chat are easier for me to spot their comments just because my eyes are trained now to look at those little UFOs. So if you guys feel compelled to do that, feel free to. You don't have to. Obviously, you're not part of the cool group if you don't do it. It's just a fun little thing. Tommy Pickles actually started it, and it has just evolved, and it's fun. So every once in a while I like to bring it up because in case people wonder why we all have the little UFOs. And feel free to join us. Oh, Michelle, God, what was the name of them? What was the name of that? By the way, Michelle, I missed you for Camper Van earlier. I always like when you're in here and you say run him over. Hi, Chelsea. Yeah, Kim, I assumed you won. Some people do wonder. Yeah, some people wonder what the UFOs mean. So I always, every once in a while, just like to bring it up again. So, and yes, Michelle is right. I always forget to plug it, but I do have pretty amazing merch, if I do say so myself. I spend a lot of time and passion in the designs and the products, and even if you don't feel like buying anything, I feel like you would really enjoy a good giggle, because there's some really funny cryptid shirts like Mothman selfies and Bigfoot and Mothman doing heart hands, and there's Porch Pal Society emblem. There's just all kinds of fun stuff. There's swim trunks, mouse pads, beach towels, scrunchies, magnets, stickers, anything you could want. So I think you're right, Andrew. I think it's Heaven's Gate. Thank you. And so feel free to check it out. It's on the orange banner. It's also just Porch Lore, and then you type in dot and then stored, like Michelle said right there. Oh wait, she just said Porch Lore merch. Okay, somebody just wrote it out. I saw somebody wrote it out. Oh, Sherry. There we go. So yeah, quick swig and I'll be right back with the Baker Hotel. Welcome to the porch, guys. Happy Saturday. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Christine, for all the hand hearts. Thank you so much. Strange, thank you for your heart, me, and Heidi. Yes, thank you, Sherry. Daniel's son, we love you and miss you. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society, this is the tale of the Baker Hotel. Yay, Matt added a UFO! Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Strange. I want to tell you about the night I almost didn't make it out of the Baker Hotel in Mineral Wells, Texas. You've probably heard of it. This massive decaying structure looming over the town. Once a grand luxury resort in the early 1900s. Now, one of the most haunted places in the state of Texas. It's been the site of countless ghost stories. But what happened to me that night was something else entirely. Now, I've always been the kind of person who loves a good ghost story, but I also respect the places that hold those stories. I'm not one of those people who waltzes into an abandoned building trying to provoke spirits for a cheap thrill. So, when I decided to visit the Baker Hotel, it wasn't to chase shadows. It was because I had been doing some research for a podcast. And I was planning on haunted Texas landmarks. And my plan was simple. Get some photos, maybe pick up some EVPs, and most importantly, avoid getting arrested for trespassing. The Baker Hotel was built in the 1920s, a towering monument to luxury, offering mineral water treatments that supposedly had healing properties. People came from all over the country to bathe in the pools, drink the water, and bask in the hotel's elegance. But behind its glamorous past lurked a darker history. The hotel was said to be cursed from the beginning. People died in the pools. Guests jumped to their deaths from the balconies. And then there was the mistress of the hotel owner. And her story haunted me the most. Good night, Deborah. They say she was a beautiful woman who lived in the hotel, but when the affair soured, she threw herself from the top floor. Her perfume supposedly still lingers in the air where she fell. Yay, Chad! Yay! She was one of the spirits I was hoping to encounter. I made my way inside just after midnight. I had done my homework. I figured out where security patrolled, and I knew which entrance was least likely to get me caught. I am still an investigative journalist at heart. The place smelled of old wood and mildew, and my footsteps echoed as I moved carefully through the main lobby, past the grand staircase. Thank you, Chad. I am a lover of not only history, but also the beautiful craftsmanship and architecture of the past. So, the decay of this once grand building was honestly heartbreaking to me. I hate seeing structures like this that have been neglected and are now falling apart. Peeling wallpaper, shattered chandeliers, the skeletons of chairs and tables that once held high society gatherings. It felt like time had rotted here. You did it, Mace! Yeah! I started taking pictures, making my way toward the old spa area in the basement. And that's where a lot of the paranormal activity had been reported. People reported hearing whispers and seeing shadows and the feeling of being watched. And sure enough, as soon as I stepped into the basement corridor, I felt it. That shift in the air. Thanks, Jen. I took out my EVP recorder, hit record, and softly asked if anyone was here with me. I wasn't expecting a response right away. But then, clear as day, I heard something that made my stomach drop. Footsteps. Not faint or distant, but right behind me, heavy and deliberate. I spun around, my heart pounding, and no one was there. But the air smelled different now, like damp roses. My mind raced. Was it the ghost of the mistress? Was I standing where she had once walked? I took a step forward, and that's when I saw it. A shadow. A figure, tall and thin, standing at the far end of the corridor. I could make out its head and shoulders, but it wasn't moving. But it had to be aware of me. And then, in the blink of an eye, it was much closer to me. I staggered back, my breath hitching. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but my legs were frozen. Then the lights flickered on. The lights shouldn't even be working in a place that has been abandoned for decades. And in that brief illumination, I saw its face, or rather the absence of one. A smooth, featureless void where eyes and a mouth should be. I bolted. I hardly remember the feeling of my feet slamming against the tile as I ran back toward the staircase. Then I heard whispers that turned into shrieks. I made it to the lobby, out of breath. Then I realized the grand staircase wasn't where it was supposed to be. The layout of the building had changed. My stomach twisted as I realized that I was no longer in the same Baker Hotel I had walked into. The building had shifted around me, trapping me in a version of itself that shouldn't even exist. Panic clawed at my throat, but I forced myself to focus. If the building wanted me lost, I had to outthink it. So I turned sharply, heading toward the entrance I had come through. And then I heard it. Something scraping, dragging. I didn't even dare look back. I just ran. My only thought was getting out before whatever was following me caught up. The second my hands touched the door handle, I felt something brush up against my back, ice cold. Then suddenly, I was outside. The night air hit me like a slap and I stumbled forward, gasping. The hotel loomed behind me, silent once more. I turned, expecting to see movement in the windows. But there was nothing. Just darkness. I don't know what I encountered that night, or what happened to me. But I've spent weeks researching, and there are reports buried deep in the Old Town records of people vanishing inside the Baker Hotel, even during its heyday. Guests who checked in, but never checked out. And that's the tale of the Baker Hotel. Yes, Lynn, you should email me. That'd be fascinating. It's just porchlore@gmail.com. I love hearing people's personal stories. All right, and welcome in everybody. If you're new here, well, thanks, Abby. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and they are available for you to listen to whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Thanks, Stacy. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, that's a good question, Kim. I wonder. Hi, Spooky Cabins. Welcome in. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Witchy Poo. Happy Saturday, everybody. Archangelo, thank you for the swan. Thanks for helping me with my gallery. I love that swan. Thanks. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Happy Saturday, Tommy. Hi, Eleanor. I love your name. Yes, Kim, UFO, woohoo! I had a cat named Witchy Poo. That's a cute name for a cat. That's so cute. Eilish, somebody was looking for you earlier. I know you fell asleep and you came back, but somebody was asking if you were still in here earlier. All right, you guys, you know what time it is. It was Robin. Okay, thanks, Lovely. See what I mean? Lovely is so on top of it. She remembers everything. I'm in the kitchen, Devin. Let's go. Why did why did Fetty Wap immediately come to my head when you're like, I'm in the kitchen? Like, introduce it to my stove. Love the money, I ain't never let it go. Eleanor, are you new? Welcome in. Yeah, 1738. I read multiple stories all night long, and I'm about to start another one. The last one of the night, actually. But I am here welcome in, Eleanor. I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 1. We do end the live with this same story every night because it's everybody's favorite, and it continued to be requested, and people would be sad if I ended without it. So I just decided to make it the last story now because it's our favorite. What's my favorite cheese, Tony? My favorite cheese is Gouda. And you can ask the Porch Pals some more details on that. I don't have time to start that story right now. It's already after 1. But I could explain Gouda tomorrow. Ask me about cumin flavored Gouda earlier tomorrow. Yeah, Justin. Yeah. There's a whole story behind it. It's ridiculous and out of control and true. Anyway. Ooh, Longhorn Jean sounds good. I do, Kim. I do. You're a Gouda girl too, Pippa. Me too. It is a great story. It's ridiculous, but great. And I think about it and I'm like, man. I'm like still proud of that girl. She didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm like, and true. Because it sounds ridiculous. And I still can't believe that I do stuff like that sometimes. I shock myself, to be honest. When you're a Sagittarius and you don't really think things through sometimes, you just like sit back and look at things you've done and you're like, damn. What was I thinking? Justin. Yeah, I was Pippa. I was like, you're not taking my wheel of choice. All right, guys, I will be right back with the last story of the night. Sit back and relax. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Yeah, rubbing it into the carpet, Michelle. Grab a hammock. Grab a beanbag chair. Sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars. And welcome to the porch. Happy Saturday. Be right back with the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And if you like grilled cheese, I highly recommend making a grilled cheese sandwich right now. Yes, it's late. Do we care? No. Because after this story, you will be craving one. I can almost guarantee it. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm actually craving one now. And so you might as well just make it now. Just make it. Enjoy it. Be right back. We're glad you're here, Beefy. Thank you, Daniel-san. Thank you, Justin. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. Thank you, Akaro. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. Thank you so much, Akaro. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon, a tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. Thank you, Auntie Anna. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths. A long counter with spinning stools. Even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of the sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled, patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth, and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around, and everyone looked normal. Sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. "Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Chad." But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there, but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, Strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple. Safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window and the storm was still going. But now the wind had picked up. I could see power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Jess. But the diner stayed perfectly lit. Not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast. Like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over collecting his empty mug. Oh, Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence, and the woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back and the jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just wind and rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate, still warm and still half-eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in. She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled, and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines, and then shadows, and then nothing. And then I saw it. Underneath the illusion, it was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot, like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign. No glowing windows, just nothing. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Speedy. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music. No Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rear view mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. Thank you, Skrilla. Happy early birthday. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site, and I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight, and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor, same red booths, same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress. smiling. Matt, I love you. I love Matt. Good night, CJ. Good night, Robin. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore, if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And with that, I will say goodnight, Porch Pals. Thank you for the lights, Maze. I love those Edison lights. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending your Saturday with me, guys. You could be anywhere. And I love spending my evenings with you guys. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Patsy, you said, I love hearing your southern accent slip out. Wait, where'd it go? Oh my gosh, thank you, Stacy, so much. Where'd that come and go? Oh, it makes me miss my North Carolina summers. Me too. I'm from North Carolina too, Patsy. And I miss it so much. Stacy, oh my God, thank you for helping me with my gallery and the galaxies. Stacy, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're so kind, Stacy. Thank you. It means more than you know. And thank you guys. I love you, Porch Pals. Oh, you're in North Carolina? Oh, Chad, I'm jealous. I miss it. But yeah, I like to bust out my accent for that story because I was driving through North Carolina in the story, and everybody loves it. But in case you didn't know, I was a national news reporter. And so I actually took non-regional diction training classes to not have an accent, but deep down inside, I still say do what, and I'm fixing to, and I'll shoot, and hostile. And oh yes, thanks Draconis. And if you guys aren't able to fall asleep tonight, no problem. Check out my YT channel. There is a bedtime stories playlist that has all these stories, and you probably will fall asleep by the second story. You can hit shuffle like Draconis likes to do, or you can hit play all and you will be out. I'm fixing to chuck some nuts. Exactly, Justin. I'm telling you, North Carolina's got the best barbecue in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Put slaw and some Texas peanut on top of some nice dry vinegar-based pork. My God. Some bullet-shaped hush puppies. Just yum. And yes, I'm basically talking about Cookout because that is my favorite place of all time. And I grew up in the town it was founded in, Greensboro, North Carolina. That's right. So I love Cookout for life. For life. It would be my last meal. It would be like if I could cater a wedding that I don't have because I'm not married. But if I could cater my wedding, it would be Cookout. And I don't care if people would be like, what's this redneck ass shit? I'd be like, wait till you try it. Wait till you try it. Liver pudding? I've never heard of that. I don't eat that. Anyway, I love y'all. Sweet dreams. I will see you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, Stay spooky. Spooky bestie, I love that idea. Good night, Auntiana. Sweet dreams. I love that idea. Stay spooky.